Okay, so welcome back to another video. Today, I'd like to talk about relationships, right? And specifically, obviously, these videos are made for young men. And, I think as men in general, there's a lot of problems in relationships. And we don't really look into this area of our life. We like to escape and just think about money and think about purpose and mission, which is great. But really, the most pain that we experience in life for men and for women is through relationships, right? Like, we're social creatures, and the biggest problems that we have is really in intimate relationships, whether the lack of a relationship and wanting a relationship, or being completely disassociated and not wanting a relationship, or having problems inside of the relationship, right? So how many young men, for example, have experienced like heartbreak and breakups and being cheated on or cheating on the other person, or arguments in relationships and just general problems that we have, right? And I'm making this video because I've been through some of those struggles as well. Obviously I'm still young, but I am married. I am becoming a father as well, and during this process of recording this video. And I've got some insights of relationships. I also studied a lot about social dynamics, a lot of the people in the game and pickup and stuff like that in the past. And I've experienced a lot of different things in the last, 7-8 years of this voyage into relationships, right? And let's break up into two parts, because really there's attracting relationships, right? And there's also keeping a relationship, right? And in terms of attracting a relationship, really there's kind of two sides, two polarities that a lot of young men fall into, right? And the first side is really chasing money, chasing status, trying to be successful in the world, and really maybe consciously doing that or subconsciously not being aware of it, but really trying to increase your status to be attractive to find a mate, right? Like, a lot of the times when we have big ideals, like we want to be really successful and be famous and rich and whatever, really behind that is a subconscious desire to attract women into our life, right? To reproduce. It's a very basic need that we have. So some people are becoming aware of those needs through learning about psychology, social dynamics and stuff like this. And the majority of society, majority of men are unaware of that, right? So we spend all of our life trying to be better, trying to be more attractive in the marketplace without even consciously knowing it, right? The other side, the other polarity that a lot of young men fall into is this whole world I mentioned of pickup and game, right? If you're aware of social dynamics, really like RSD and these kind of pickup artists, right? And really that side of the equation, they kind of look at attraction and they try to kind of manipulate in a way the attraction cues of women, right? So they will try to act more high status and try to be more attractive, and it's kind of like a more direct approach, sneaky approach to try and attract a woman into your life, right? And the problem with these two polarities, the both sides of these, is that as I mentioned in my last video about manhood and masculinity, it's really falling into the child archetype again, right? It's about looking outside to try and really, it's a selfish worldview of I'm the center and I need to attract as many women to my life and be really successful and whatever. And there's nothing wrong with that, because they are also primal desires that we have, right? Sexual desires that we have, and there's nothing wrong with that. But really what I'm proposing in this video is there's a new way to really look at relationships, and I think collectively we're actually moving into that way, right? So really the purpose of relationship, right, we can look at it from the two perspectives. At the base, you've got reproduction, okay? But the higher purpose of relationships that most people don't look into when they study psychology and evolutionary biology and whatever is the purpose of relationship really is spiritual growth, right? Because you have the masculine and the feminine, you have the incarnation, the manifestation of the masculine and the feminine, right? So really your partner is a mirror to you, right? And when someone is a mirror to you, they're reflecting back what really you see inside of yourself. That's why we're so attracted to someone, spiritually speaking, is because we see that that feminine essence. For example, if you're more of a masculine man, you see that femininity is actually part of you, right? But we live in a 3D physical world where we're learning, our soul is growing and evolving. So really, relationship is the true spiritual path. And I think now, as we're moving into a new time, like the Aquarius time or whatever, it's really a time of relationship as well. You know, like we've been through a big epoch where the big main spiritual path was being alone, being in solitude, going off in the mountains to meditate and be by yourself, which is great. But really, the calling of this age is relationship. And the deepest relationship is intimate relationship, right? So we get to activate and trigger all of our deepest wounds and pains, right? Because also, when we get in a relationship and we're not so, we haven't worked a lot on our deepest wounds, they tend to get activated by our partner, right? By our relationship. And a lot of times, for example, as a man, you can project the mother archetype onto the woman, for example. And she can also project the father archetype onto you as well. So we're dealing with our deepest childhood wounds in our relationship. And it's a daily process to really take responsibility every single day, that if I feel uncomfortable in a relationship, or if I don't have a relationship and that's triggering things as well, for me to take 100% responsibility, okay? So that's the higher purpose of relationship. But when we come back to the reproduction side, really, and also attracting relationships, really, women are biologically designed to be attracted to the man who has high status, right? Women are looking for a man who has high status. And the reason being is it's reproduction, right? Like if a man has resources, he has connections in the tribe and he's high status, then I can reproduce with this man, and my child, my offspring, is going to be protected and provided for, right? Because this man is high status. But really, the pickup side and the game side, they really begin to understand that, you know, a woman determines a man, if he's high status, by the subconscious cues that he gives. So for example, like his body language, the way that he speaks, the way that he looks, the way that other people react to him, right? Because, you know, like money and fancy cars and all this, what we've been conditioned to believe will make us high status from the media and the marketing in this age. That's like a new invention, right? Like humans have evolved through many epochs, many years, many thousands, millions of years, right? So the way that women became attracted to a man and learned to see if a man is high status is through how he acts and who he's being, right? So really, we're talking about your status, right? Your position in the hierarchy. Now, the problem is in our culture is that right now we don't live in traditional tribes, right? We've kind of been separated, and a lot of us live in cities and different things, and it's like an online digital world as well. And we don't have that core tribe. So there's no really way to determine our status in the tribe. But now it's kind of like the person who has the most money or looks the best or has the most whatever, biggest house, whatever. And really that's what's been conditioned to us through the marketing, through the media, through the culture. And the companies make millions and billions of dollars through basically trying to get you to believe if you buy this product that I've created, it's going to increase your status, right? It's one of the first things that they teach you in marketing. If you can link status to your product, people are going to buy it, because anything that increases their status is valuable to them, right? So really, there's a big problem with status, right? It's like, where's my status? Where's my tribe? What really makes me high status, right? And really, coming back to the idea of a tribe and your status in a tribe, the way that you would gain your status in the tribe and basically gain your position in the hierarchy, your place in the tribe, is through, firstly, you need to be initiated, right? Like, what is your purpose in the tribe? How are you giving? What is your service, right? And as I talk about a lot in these videos, like, we have a lack of initiation, right? And really, young men need to be initiated. You need to discover your own unique purpose in this world, right? And the blessing is right now is because we don't have to compete with each other. Like, I'm trying to be the best, like, athlete, I'm trying to be the best in this specific business model, I'm trying to be the biggest YouTube, I'm trying to be the biggest blah, 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 whatever, right? it doesn't really matter. We're in a position of competing. But right now, again, coming to this age of Aquarius, it's really about your own individual freedom and sharing that collectively with the world. Okay, so it's like, what is your individual purpose? And really, what is your service to the world? So instead of trying to chase things from the outside, trying to get more material things, it's more about like, what are you giving to the world, right? And inherently, there is a status and a confidence and a sense of purpose that comes from that, right? So that is the real core message of every video that I make. It's really like, what is your purpose? Discover your purpose. And the way that we do that is through the path of initiation, right? And as I talked about in many videos, really that's about healing ourselves in the hero's journey. But we talk about that in upcoming videos a bit more as well. So again, discovering our purpose, our status, like really when we discover our higher purpose, we begin to integrate all of our lower needs as well, right? So it's not being lost in the spiritual, but it's about bringing that spiritual and integrating it with the physical as well, okay? So really, I just want to emphasize that, like, you know, for me, in my honest opinion, like relationships are the highest spiritual path that we can pursue. And a lot of us can be a bit jaded about going into relationships and whatever in this world because we've been so hurt, right? And really it comes back to our wounds, mainly with our mother, with our parents, and different things that we've experienced, right, in relationship with the feminine. And really it takes a lot of courage to go on that path, to go on your own hero's journey. And it's not really about chasing a relationship or trying to attract someone. It's more about who you are being. And when you are really stepping into your purpose, you naturally begin to attract the people and the relationships into your life without forcing it, right? It's who you are being. So I just like to end this video with a message that really the core essence of marriage is really sacred, right? And I think we've been heavily traumatized by a lot of religions and different things enforcing certain rules, but really at the core of it, in my honest opinion, like marriage is very, very sacred. And it's a teaching of also mastering your sexual energy, your primal energy, right? If you're giving energy to loads of different places, loads of different women at the same time, you're losing your power, and all of that power can be pursued in your purpose and your mission. So don't be jaded about getting into relationships, having children, reproducing, and living a human life and being a man, right? And really having the courage to step into your own truth and your own purpose, right? I wish that for you in your life, and really that's the purpose of these videos, for you to step into your own hero's journey as a man, right? So I hope this video was helpful in some way, and I will see you in the next one.